Now, before we get into today's episode, I want you to be sure and subscribe to our newsletter. There is a link below to it in the description. That way we can stay connected no matter what happens, even if the fit hits the shan, because we got a country to save. Another day, another race card play by former President Barack Obama. He recently said, "I never thought, quote, dark forces, close quote, would take over the Republican Party." Dark forces. The man also said this: "We've got to do a better job of reducing the influence of those who try to inflame division and traffic conspiracy theories for their own benefit." End of quote. Forces of those who would inflame division? You mean like this gentleman with whom a smiling Senator Obama took a photograph? You know, the same Farrakhan who said,
"And I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews."
We need to do a better job of reducing the influence of those who traffic in conspiracy theories. Did Obama really say that?
Those of you who are health professionals, they want you to take it first. Teach. And then they'll say to you, if it ain't moving good enough, you notice they offering you money now?
Come on, dear man. Go ahead.
When has this devil ever offered you $1,000 or $1,500 to take a shot?
Teach, dear master. Teach. Teach.
They give you free shots
Right.
of toxic waste.
Yes, sir.
Free.
My God.
And now you are telling my poor black brothers and sisters that they should hurry. And you laugh at Reverend Jim Jones with Kool-Aid. This is the biggest dose of Kool-Aid that the enemy has ever offered. It is death itself. Created by what you call warp speed. You know, anything that's warped is misshaped. Anything that's warped is crooked. So by rushing so fast to get something out, bypassing normal steps in a true vaccine, now God is going to turn your vaccine into death in a hurry. Mark my words, by the help of God. Since you love to take the vaccine, then eat death.
Obama says we need to reduce the influence of those who inflame divisions and push conspiracy theories while taking a photograph of one of the leading anti-Semites in the country who has been pushing numerous conspiracy theories. I kid you not. You do know that under President Obama, race relations got worse. Oh yeah. A June 2007 Gallup poll asked Republicans and Democrats to rate relations between blacks and whites. Democrats, 67% said relations were somewhat good or very good. 77% of Republicans said the same thing. Now that was 2007, before Obama got elected. But just before his term ended in 2015, overall 54% say relations between blacks and whites have gotten worse since Obama became president, including 57% of whites and 40% of blacks. That is up sharply compared with last June, when 43% said things had gotten worse after the shooting at the church in Charleston, South Carolina. Obama was in a prime position to knock this nonsense out, to put a fork in the idea that America is systemically racist. I mean, you remember when he ran? I mean, talk about adulation. It was ridiculous. And they thought, given this guy's adulation, given the praise, given the fact that even people who didn't vote for him were still happy that America is a country that could elect a black person president. And the man they thought that they were electing was a guy who gave an interview to 60 Minutes, and when asked whether or not racism will cause you not to win, here's what he said.
You think the country's ready for a black president?
Yes.
You don't think it's going to hold you back?
No. I think if I don't win this race, it will be because of other factors. It's going to be because I have not shown to the American people a vision for where the country needs to go that they can embrace.
And in 2007, before he got elected president, at a black church, he talked about how much racism he thought was in America, and I thought the percentages he gave seemed quite reasonable.
I think the Moses generation. Yes. But we got to remember now that Joshua still had a job to do. As great as Moses was, despite all that he did, leading a people out of bondage, he didn't cross over the river to see the promised land. God told him, your job is done. You'll see it. You'll be at the mountaintop and you can see what I've promised. What I promised to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And I promise to you, you can see that I will fulfill that promise. But you won't go there. We're going to leave it to the Joshua generation to make sure it happens. There's still some battles that need to be fought. Some rivers that need to be crossed. Like Moses, the task was passed on to those who might not have been as deserving, might not have been as courageous, find themselves in front of the risks that their parents and their grandparents and great-grandparents had taken. But that doesn't mean they still don't have a burden that they have to shoulder, that they don't have some responsibilities. The previous generation, the Moses generation, pointed the way. They took us 90% of the way there, but we still got that 10% in order to cross over to the other side.
In a National News Weekly long article about the decision that Senator Obama made to run for president, about how he brought in all his homies, Valerie Jarrett and David Plouffe and David Axelrod, and it said race never came up. Because Obama doesn't think of himself as bound by his race. This is a guy who graduated from Harvard, president of the Harvard Law Review, wrote an autobiography when he was in his 20s. And he gets elected president? And what does he do? The Cambridge police acted stupidly?
The Cambridge police acted stupidly.
No, they didn't. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. What does that even mean?
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
There's a place called Ferguson. Have we forgotten? Michael Brown did not have his hands up, did not say don't shoot.
In a summer marked by instability in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, I know the world also took notice of the small American city of Ferguson, Missouri, where a young man was killed and a community was divided. So yes, we have our own racial and ethnic tensions.
He embraced Black Lives Matter movement and invited Reverend Sharpton in the White House over 70 some odd times.
We checked the White House logs and found that Sharpton visited the White House during Obama's presidency at least 118 times.
Barack Obama, you know this is crap. Last night, a black child went to bed having done less homework than a Hispanic child, less homework than a white child, and much less homework than an Asian American child. Has Obama said one word about the importance of hitting the books? That you're not going to go anywhere in life if you haven't done homework? Has he said anything about that? Has Obama said one word about the fact that these tragedies could have been averted had the suspect/civilian complied? Did Obama say anything at all about the refusal of Jacob Blake, George Floyd, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice to simply comply? Comply, you won't die. Has Obama said one word about that? This is a man who's making things worse. Now, I know this kind of racism nonsense benefits the Democratic Party. I know it gets black people upset and angry and gets that 13% to vote almost monolithically for the Democratic Party. But at what price? You're making race relations worse. You're making race relations between blacks and the police worse. Instead of complying, often a young black man will resist, verbally or even physically, making an ordinary traffic stop suddenly become DEFCON 1. Obama had the power, the clout, the authority, the persuasiveness, the respect to have done something about it. Instead, the man played the race card. Mr. Obama, how do you sleep at night? I sleep rather well. Do you? I'm Larry Elder, and we've got a country to save. I will see you next time.